With a WWE star seemingly off WrestleMania 39 and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about changing his previous appearance in WWE, Steve Austin told Up, Up, Down, Down, "We were working in Pittsburgh one night and I was traveling down the road with Goldust. I still had the buzz haircut. I didn't have the goatee. I looked at myself in the mirror and I looked like a ragamuffin. I looked at myself and said, dude, what are you doing? So I just shaved my head. I went to the building that night and everybody said, dude, why did you shave your head? The hair would do me no good anyway. It was inspired by Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction." Also on Up, Up, Down, Down, Stone Cold talked about those that sold the stunner well as Vince McMahon's selling of it at WrestleMania 38. I love the reaction that The Rock would do. Razor took a good one, but it was all like an individual thing. Vince, he wasn't even in the top 100. That last one at 38, when we botched that one, I just got up and started laughing because when you blow something that bad, everybody knows what's up, so you might as well let them all in right off the get-go. There's been a bunch of good ones. There's been so many. It's hard to remember, but I just remember Rock really putting the Hollywood in it. He put the oversell into it, but that oversell matched the moment and magnified the story that we were telling. We fed off each other. We were like frickin' frack out there. Touching on her involvement in intergender matches for WWE, Rhea Ripley told Checkpoint, "Like you said, having a match against Tozawa on WWE Raw television, that's something I didn't think would happen, especially to someone like me. I didn't think it would be in my timeline. I thought it would still be down a little bit, like we'd have to work toward that one. But to know that it's all changing and evolving so quickly, I'm so intrigued and excited to see what the future holds for the women's division, because we're growing and you can't really stop us. We are shining." With Forbes, Lita talked about what she would like to see for the future of women's wrestling. "To me, the next barrier is genderless. I don't care how you identify, we're just going to go out there and show out. And it's not like, what women do we have on the show? Where is this representation? No, fair game. Everyone go. Grab your spot, and we go out there. Some nights, that might mean 8 women's matches on the card. Some nights, that might mean 2. To not still feel like it's a box to check to make sure to represent the women. Of course, they're going to be represented because they're good. Just continuing on, not being confined by gender. It's like I see a prize, I go after it. We're not worried about what defines my gender. I see a title, and that's what I want to do." Speaking about his time in WWE, Killian Dane talked about being around Randy Orton as he told WrestlingNews.co. "Randy was an incredible locker room leader and a great person to be around because you hear all of these stories about them and they're just not true. He was wonderful to all of us. Watching him wrestle every night on the house shows and stuff like that was incredible because he's outstanding at what he does. I think that I learned to appreciate him more the more I saw him as well because he always had great matches and everything else. But the way he took his time and orchestrated the crowd, he was literally a level above everybody. I'm hearing that he's having back issues. I'm really hoping it's not true because he's maybe the most important person on that roster right now, and I'm hoping that he's able to push through it. What a worker he is. What a leader." When asked about his victory over Okada in New Japan, Bronson Reed said to Overnight Crowd that there are things that are unprecedented. People didn't think that I would be able to do it, but I knew that my time away from WWE, I needed to make sure that I was staying impressive. Being able to get a victory over someone like Okada, who you rarely see lay on his shoulders for 3 seconds, meant a lot to me. But it also meant a lot to me being able to come back to WWE with purpose and with a newfound chip on my shoulder. Giving an update on his health, former WCW star Buff Bagwell told the Going Broadway podcast, "I've got a knee replacement that I'm getting scheduled to get done within the month. There's a light, a big bright light now at the end of the tunnel when there wasn't any. So I'm very excited about life. I'm sober and clean, which I really didn't think I could do this thing called life sober and clean. I really didn't." While Pat McAfee has teased a return to the WWE ring, this was said about his future prospects as a full-time commentator, as it was noted on Wrestling Observer Radio. The deal is that ESPN is trying to get him, land him for a regular gig there. As far as wrestling goes, I guess, I don't think he's going to be back as a weekly character. Wade Barrett said last week that he is under the impression that he is permanently in that spot. And when Pat started the football, he was going to be back after football season, and obviously football was over, and Pat's got a lot of things going on in his life. He's got a kid. He's making so much money from his show. It makes no economic sense for him to do wrestling because no money can measure it with what he was making elsewhere. He loved doing it, which is why he did it for a long time. For a WWE biography episode, former Divas champion Saraya touched on being bullied during her time in the company. "I came in with previous wrestling experience, and some of the girls were intimidated by that. The only person that was nice to me was Summer Rae. I remember they used to throw my out of the locker room. They told me I had to do my stuff in the shower, and they were just awful. I remember calling my mom and dad for like 3 or 4 months, and I was crying my eyes out. These phone calls were really frequent at the start until she settled in. Many times she wanted to come home. All I'm saying is give it time. It's your big moment. They're going to test you." During a KNS virtual signing, Nia Jax was asked if she would consider joining AEW, with her replying, "I actually would. I keep getting asked that question and I usually say no, but I actually would. I'm really good friends with Saraya. I love what she's doing there. I recently met Nyla Rose. It would be kind of cool and add something different." At that same event, Nia Jax talked about her viral outburst from an episode of Raw, saying, "So it was during the COVID era, right? My hole was during the COVID era. We have a lot more freedom during the COVID era, and I had discussed it actually with Triple H before when we were rehearsing the match, and I was like, oh my gosh, you want me to do a leg drop on the apron?" And I was like, my freaking butthole's gonna... So it was more of a joke to Pop Hunter and Vince McMahon and Gorilla. It was literally more to make them laugh, so when I did it, that was the intention, and then when I got backstage and saw that everybody was texting me about my whole trending, that's not what my intention was. With Miro not having been seen in AEW since the All Out event, this was said about his status by Sean Ross Sapp. Miro had been in Bulgaria for over a month. His wife, CJ Perry, spent more time over there as well. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer spoke about Vince McMahon's current involvement with WWE, saying, "I can tell you that there are things when it comes to stuff that nobody's supposed to know, but Vince knows. He is an insider when it comes to all of this. He is there, yes. Triple H is running creative, but Vince is there a lot more than just working on the sale. There is definitely a lot more to it than that." While Goldberg has talked about being owed another match by WWE, it seems he is no longer with the company, as it was reported that Bill Goldberg's WWE contract expired at the end of 2022 and no deal to renew or extend was reached. Goldberg has been officially a free agent since that point. The 56-year-old Bill Goldberg only wrestled once in 2022, losing that last match on his contract to Roman Reigns. Over the last couple of years, Goldberg put over Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Reigns, and Bobby Lashley, though he got a big win back over Lashley. Half of his matches since 2018 were in Saudi Arabia, and all of them were either for Saudi shows or Big Four WWE pay-per-view events. Goldberg actually wrestled the last match on the deal at last year's WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but there was still a period of 10 months on the deal. During his most recent run, Goldberg won the WWE Universal title twice, losing it both times at WrestleMania. There were rumors that AEW was interested in Goldberg in 2019, but that was never confirmed. With Roman Reigns having been champion for years, it looks like he could be done with WWE for a bit. As Louis Dangoor wrote, Roman Reigns is expected to take a significant break following WrestleMania. WrestleVotes tells Give Me Sport. The belief is that the undisputed WWE Universal Champion could even be missing until SummerSlam in August. WrestleVotes noted, adding to this, I'm told this is contingent on if and when Reigns eventually loses the title. As of now, those plans are not certain. When it comes to the situation surrounding Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania status, this was said on Wrestling Observer Radio. Man, nobody knows what's going on there. Not a mention of Bray Wyatt all night during Raw. Not a mention of Bobby Lashley all night. I mean, it looks to me like I don't want to say it looks like he's off the show, but it looks like he's off the show because they are not mentioning his name at all. They did a little flash with that Bray Wyatt stuff on Friday's show, so he's with the company. There was another video where they showed him briefly, so it's not like he's been scrubbed from anything, but he was supposed to be at the show Friday night. So whatever it is, it's a health issue, and the health issue hasn't cleared up yet. And you know, if they were confident that it was, they would at least have Bobby Lashley out there doing promos and stuff. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.